Please be seated. We will start in a few moments our plenary session. We have some official moments too, and we will hope that our Minister of Science and Education will arrive soon. But there is, of course, at this time, a huge traffic jam. Maybe if somebody who was at a workshop of research lost a black backpack, it is found and it is given. Yes? You know where it is? It is where you're, yeah, at the desk. Okay, top, settled. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome again. Some people are still in the same seat as this morning, but you can come a little bit closer now because some people had to go during the day. I hope you had a pleasant meeting. I strolled around a little bit and heard some very interesting and good examples. I hope it was inspiring. Yes? Yes? Okay, that's nice to hear. We will do now the plenary closing, and I'd like to ask Peter Duisenberg, the chairman of the VSNU, to join me. Michael Murphy, of course. Michael, where are you? The president of the European University Association. Please stand up over there this time. Why not? And Koen Vermeer. Please join us also, the co-chair of the Global Young Academy. How inspiring was your day, Peter?
Yeah, very much.
Yeah?
Very much.
Can you elaborate a little bit?
Yeah. Yeah. It's sort of, to be honest, yeah, maybe what is the most inspiring thing for me is that this sort of a party. That's what it felt like when I came here this morning. We're going to celebrate something, and that's celebrating that we're all here together, and that everybody is agreeing, and that we've agreed with so many organizations, not just universities, but also with NBO, ZonNW, KNW, to make this movement. And that's for me, that really gives me a thrill.
Okay,
Yeah.
but I heard also some hesitation. For instance, if I read Twitter, some people think we are still looking for the jackal of all paths, what we call in the Netherlands the sheep with the 5 legs.
The sheep. Yeah.
And ja, het gaat met 5 poten voor de Dutch here.
No, but that's exactly what we want to move away from.
Yeah, is that really true? Because some people
really
think that you have to be and a good researcher, and a good leader, and a good educator.
Yeah, no, but that's exactly what we need to move away from. We said there is in the position paper, we said there will always be a basis of education and research, because that's at the core of who we are. But this is about differentiation of career paths. And about team science, and about one professional.
So we really want to make a change.
Yeah, we want to make a change, and I think also our commitments in the paper are written in such a specific way that you can see that we're truly committed to also make the change and make concrete changes happen.
Yeah, Michael, were you also inspired today?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, also some hesitation.
Yes. No. I reflect on answers.
Okay. Okay. Sorry. I'm making a joke.
I have to take a satellite view rather than a helicopter view. And I think that what's happened here and what's been happening in the Dutch system, the reflections on the whole matter of assessment, is doing something that society expects of us, and that governments expect of us, and that the EU Commission expects of us. They've very clearly said that they want to move to open science, open access,
science,
and so
open
on.
access,
And much of what we're discussing flows from that decision, and others. My big concern, I suppose, would be that the data we were shown by Brecht earlier indicates that we have a long way to go to persuade government and society that we are actually doing what needs to be done to deliver on public policy. And I always have the fear that if we don't, it will be done unto us by government. And perhaps when autonomy diminishes, we have to reflect on whether, to some extent, that's our fault for not doing what needs to be done at the rate that's required.
You have to speed up?
We have to, and we can only speak up when we have events like this.
Speed up, sorry. Speed.
Speed up.
Speed up, yeah.
Correct. And this event is what society expects of us. And Dutch leadership, I think, will be extremely important to push this agenda across Europe. And certainly I will do what I can to drive it forward, because it's the right approach, though lots of questions remain.
Yeah, of course. We can't settle that in not only within 24 hours and not only today. Koen, I don't know where you were today during the sessions. Here. Oh, okay.
I mean,
no, I think in the building, but I don't know which session you were following. But were you inspired?
I was very much inspired, yes.
Can you give us an example?
Well, for the session today, I was inspired by the people who were like standing around me, who were not just Dutch people, which I think is important. So these were people from Norway, from Finland, from Poland, from Czechia and so forth. And I mean, I'm representing a global organization, right?
Yeah.
And so for me, that's close to my heart, is kind of a wider imprint of what we're doing here today. I agree with the sense of a party. I think that's great. I think it's very inspiring that those 14 universities have come together and built something together. I think that is fantastic. But I think we need to think further. Otherwise, also, even the project of the 14 universities may fail. Because research is a global enterprise. And if we don't coordinate, if we're not on the same page, we're in trouble, right?
Can I?
Yeah.
No, so I fully agree. Actually, it connects very much. So what's important now is that we're going to make the changes here in the Netherlands, but it's equally or even perhaps more important that we connect internationally, because we cannot do this by ourselves. Because I think Koen is right. In the end, if the change is not international, then we here in the Netherlands will not succeed, because everything is so connected. And so it's very important for us that there are so many representatives from other countries here. I connected already with a colleague from Poland, one from Finland. They're going through sort of same thoughts as we are. Actually, I heard that the Finns have their position paper. Oh, you're sitting right over there. And so we talked about, okay, how can we move this for us to the European level? That's our first step.
Yeah.
But actually, Koen told me that also globally there's a discussion going on. So this is not just a European discussion in the end.
Yeah. But what inspired me when I saw different sessions, for instance here, and I think you all three noticed, for instance, the query system of humanities of the University of Amsterdam, another way to keep sources up and have a societal impact. I heard about the Teachers University in Finland, which was also very inspiring. So there are already examples to find our way, isn't it?
I mean, all of this is driving, one, a culture change. Secondly, it is demanding of each of us that we actually can explain why we're doing what we're doing, what we're trying to achieve. It forces us to reflect on what we're doing and how we can do it better. And the Teaching Academy is, I would say, I'm assuming its role because I wasn't in that room. But that mention of that term alone reminds us that we can't assume nowadays, as we have for the last couple of centuries, that because you get an academic position in a university, you can actually teach.
Yeah. You need scholarship.
I need a
for
driving
that.
license to drive a car, but I don't
Yeah.
need any license currently in most countries to stand in front of class. So we're being forced to change our culture and
Yeah.
our thinking.
Yeah, of course.
So with the,
Koen, sorry.
Yeah, so no, there are many great examples. I was also in the session here with Frank and Tim, University of Amsterdam and Strathclyde, and in the other sessions there were probably great examples as well. And so I think what we need to do from today is what, let's say, for us at the national level, we're going to build with the institutions and universities sort of the overall structures for what we call the UFO and the way how we assess and develop staff. But that's sort of a global framework. But the actual change is going to take place in the universities,
In the university
departments.
itself, yes, of course.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then all these examples should be applied. And so the good thing
Yeah,
there,
best
I think,
practices.
and we're now kickstarting the change in the institutions as well, because every university is going to have a team that is going to accelerate these discussions.
Yeah. Koen, for instance, at research there were also some worries. For instance, excellence versus quality versus impact. How do we measure it? How should we do that in an objective way instead of a subjective way? Because people are afraid that we are getting more subjective instead of objective.
Right.
Do you have already find the answer today?
Of course.
Oh, yeah, lucky boy.
No, but these are good points, and I picked that up too when I was listening to the discussions. I think there's many different questions actually in the point you made. I think, well, to some extent the whole metric tide, as they call it, came upon us to kind of counteract subjectivity and was the idea of something objective, obviously. But the thing is, objective and subjective are not necessarily the only things we can think about. I mean, I think good judgment is actually something that spans objectivity and subjectivity. Intersubjectivity is something else. If we can agree about something that is good, maybe it doesn't need to be objective in the sense of quantifiable, right? So I think there's ways around this kind of dichotomy between subjective and objective. But I think the other question about quality and impact, that is a very difficult question, I think, for us. Because the question is, well, what is quality? That's, of course, a big question, but also what is impact and how are these related? We had discussions in the group about, well, do they even go together all the time? And what if there is a conflict between them? Sometimes people can have a big impact, but it's not because they're doing great research. It's because they're kind of maybe popularizing other people's research. Or sometimes bad science has a huge impact. And that's really a problem, I would say. So if you would kind of value impact for the impact, that would be really an issue. Yeah. And then sometimes good science has a bad impact. I mean, we all see environmental issues and so forth. So
integrity is then
right.
at stake, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do we get along after today? What will be the how, according to you? What next steps do we have to take?
Well, you've got to deal with that, I think, at two levels. You've got to deal with the matter inside the university walls, mentioning walls, and we have to act outside. Internally, it's very clear that to bring about the culture change and to ensure that we have practices that people trust, that they regard as valid, that they will own, that they will engage with, there's got to be a lot more dialogue between those who are doing research, those who are teaching, those who are administering and leading, so that there is a communal approach to it. And outside the walls, the universities must work with government and funding agencies, so that whatever practices we put in place, whatever metrics we use to inform judgment, whatever incentives we use are aligned inside and outside. And at EUA level, this matter will be on the Council agenda in January, and the Dutch paper will be part of the conversations. And we are planning a further conference in the spring to focus more on implementation challenges.
Okay. And, well, you have your young talent today, which you are publishing today. But after this moment, what are you going to do? Is the next step?
The drinks.
A little bit more serious at this time of the day.
No, so and of course the minister. So that's also
yeah, the minister is also here.
Yeah, no,
we're very lucky to have her.
We're all curious why the raad was a little bit long.
Oh, we can.
Anyway. No, so
we don't speculate about
there's so a number of things. So partly I'm repeating the position paper. But then I can just repeat what's important to me. One is that we truly will make a change in 2020 on the assessment framework.
So there will be a timeline.
Yeah, for me as well. For me, and in the position paper we've written it down. So for the universities, that's the timeline we've given ourselves to make the change on the framework overall, and also what it implies for the UFO system.
Mm-hmm.
The second important thing, I think, is the cultural change and the assignment of teams within universities, which we've also set out in the position paper that we would do that. And that's, I think, will kickstart, or if it hasn't happened already, will kickstart a lot of the discussions on what changes universities, departments, etc. want to make. The other thing, and that's sort of also more on my plate, is to work with Michael and colleagues in Europe to make the change at the European level. And there I also have to stress that, for example, Stan Giele is very active in Science Europe, which is the funding side. So also there we try to connect not the Dutch
also
game
the funding
and the
side
European
has to
game.
change, yes.
And I'm really looking forward to work with the EUA on this. And indeed, as Michael said, it will be in the council meeting in January, so we will have our position paper. We might have some other position papers as well.
Poland as well.
And I hope indeed it will lead to an implementation at the European level.
Yeah, there was already an alteration for your document. I picked it up at the leadership session. Don't talk about academic leadership anymore, but leadership in academia, because they say the separation between academic and support staff is counterproductive. We need each other.
Yeah, I think it's true, but they want to edit our paper.
Yeah, they want. They want to edit it.
Okay.
That's the culture change. That's also a culture change.
The authors.
That's also a culture change.
Yeah.
Koen, what are the priorities according to you if it comes to how? How do we change?
Priorities. Well, everyone needs to change their own business. That's a first step. So, I mean, I'm co-chair of the Global Young Academy. We select every year excellent researchers, but that's not the only thing. We need people who are socially conscious, who are engaged. So we need all these factors that we've been talking about impact, about engagement, and so forth. So we're thinking all the time about this. And for instance, recently we introduced also excellence with respect to opportunity, because some of our members have been displaced by war and other really events that have impacted their research. And obviously you need to think about excellence very differently if you think about a career and a life story, right? If people have been in very difficult situations. So that's one thing. We need to think about, every one of us, about your own position, your own committees, your own university, your own institute. And the other thing that I would say is, like, I would be happy to work with all of you to also take this global. And I just wanted to read, I've been tweeting and sending this around in my global network, right? And one of our alumni members of the Global Young Academy sent me back an email, and he's now the science advisor of the ministry in Japan. And he reads, "Dear Koen, thank you for this fantastic news. I just went through the material in the link and found the aims ideal. It's a great step forward to publish these ideas. Meanwhile, I wondered how we can implement this."
That's
Very
what-
good question.
Good idea. Gentlemen, thank you for now. You can stay on the stage over there. Then I ask the minister
We'll get off, yeah.
to make her entrance, not only her entrance, but also her speech. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, and sorry for being late, but we had a rather long cabinet meeting all day, so, but I made it. First of all, let me thank the Dutch and the European Association of Universities for having me here and for organizing this event. Dear friends, this year marks the 50th anniversary of humankind's first walk on the moon. 50 years ago, 600 million people I repeat again, 600 million people watched grainy images of Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin taking their first steps on the lunar surface. It was the summer of '69, and President Kennedy had fulfilled his promise to put a man on the moon within the decade. It was the culmination of years of work by hundreds of scientists. Scientists who had worked together to push back the boundaries of the unknown. A little closer to home, in the field of education, one of today's topics, there's another striking example of what can be achieved by working together: the rise of the university colleges in the Netherlands. At these colleges, students from all over the world explore multidisciplinary courses together. They learn how to use their academic skills to have an impact in their own communities and society at large. This approach has been a significant innovation in our Dutch education system. It has inspired other parts of the universities as well. I saw this recently at a project from the Vrije Universiteit Amsterdam called Community Service Learning. In this project, master students from various disciplines conduct research in collaboration with communities. Breakthroughs and innovations like these help us to understand the world around us, but they also inspire new generation to pursue a career in academia. And it's absolutely vital that they continue to do so. Because Europe is bursting with talented people, and there are so many opportunities to put all this talent to good use. Just look at what's happening right now in the field of open science. Clearly, our scientific community possesses all the talent it needs to reinvent our knowledge sector. But it's also clear to me that our current system of recognition and rewards is out of step with such developments. It's a system based on competition, which has brought us countless scientific achievements. At the same time, we must always keep asking ourselves whether we're still bringing out the best of our academics. And I don't think we are. The current emphasis on the individual is threatening to come at the expense of the collective. The emphasis on quantity and competition is threatening to come at the expense of quality and collaboration. And the emphasis on scientists who have to excel at everything is threatening to come at the expense of diversity in talent and skills. Belle Derks, chair of our Young Academy, put it in a very striking way when she recently said this: "There seems to be a gap between the image that scientists think they have to live up to and the kind of scientist most of us really are. And because of this, the pressure on scientists continues to increase and is causing a lot of stress." I'm well aware of that. And that's why we need to change our system of recognition and rewards. We need to do better. So I'm honored to be here today with you and to receive an important position paper that so many of you have embraced, and that includes myself. I would like to give a well-deserved compliment to everyone who have worked so hard on this project. Thank you for that. And it gives me hope to see how much this means to you and how committed you are to bring the change, to take concrete and meaningful steps to bring about the necessary transition. A transition towards a system that recognizes leadership, education, impact, and patient care, and not just publication and grants. Towards a system where diversity is the norm and not just an ideal. And towards a system where open science is a standard and not just the exception. In short, a transition towards a system that focuses on collaboration. Collaboration between colleagues, between disciplines, and between countries, and science and society at large. It takes courage to join forces in this new journey beyond the boundaries of the unknown, and I appreciate that. Which is why you can expect me to do my utmost to support your ambitions. For example, by instituting a new education award here in the Netherlands, and by actively promoting your plans and ambitions abroad. Dear friends, what drives us to undertake difficult things, or sometimes as dangerous as a journey to the moon? In the summer of 1962, President Kennedy famously put it like this: we choose to go to the moon not because it's easy, but because it's hard. And I sense that same determination here in this room today. Let's hold on to that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Please stay on the stage. I will ask some other people. Peter Duisenberg, Jeroen Geurts, where are you? Stan Giele, NWO, one of the funders. Marianne Joels from the University Medical Centers. Please, on stage. You can't leave the minister alone. Well, it's time for room for everyone's talent. And I will ask Peter, what is the deal with this position paper?
Yeah, so we need to, we're going to present it now. And let me first of all, because both Jeroen and I will take our parts. Let me first of all say that I'm really proud that this position paper, which is a paper, but it is actually not a paper, it is a movement, it is change, it is people working together. It will be, and Wim.
I will ask some other people too, don't worry.
And it will be hard indeed, but it will be worth it. And let's make this the start of a great journey. And let's also do that internationally. So actually, I would like to present, that's my part of it, this paper to Michael Murphy of the EUA.
Join.
And I'm really looking forward to working with you on this.
And Wim van Saarloos, please join us too.
Okay.
Okay, Jeroen, you have another. Oh, please stay here. Please stay with us. Oh, you don't have a microphone. Well, here it is one. It is. I don't know which number it is, but.
Thank you very much.
Test.
Doesn't work.
This is number 1. Then we do it in this way. A little bit improvisation.
Yeah. So I would like to also say that I'm extremely proud of this consensus position paper. And that consensus is not something that is easy, but it's hard, as the minister said. It's hard because everybody has to agree on how we're going to move forward now, and that is not always something that you can do on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon. But we did this in very good harmony, and I'm very proud to be able to give this to our minister. Minister, this is our position paper and would like to give it to you.
Give your mic to Marian. Marian, because you wanted to give it also to somebody, isn't it?
Yes, so also on behalf of the University Medical Centers, we were really pleased to collaborate with the other parties to write this document, manifest, I would almost say, because it's a special breed there. It's not just education and research and knowledge transfer, it's also patient care. And a lot of clinicians, 80% of their time they spend on the patients. So it's really important, and we see that especially young people try to balance all these tasks, and that it's really close to their heart what it means for their career. And it's, I think, of the utmost importance that we all together start to think what it means for young people, not only for them, but also with them. And that's why I'm so pleased to hand this over to Koen, who is, well, let's say, a representing person of all these young people, well, youngish people.
We do a short photo opportunity of you all. Please, a little bit come together, ladies. You a little bit in the front. Minister in the middle.
One step forward.
One step forward because of the light. Yes. Smile. I hope. Minister, short reaction.
Yes, well, very short. Well, it's for me it's a great honor to receive this position paper, and well, this is the way it's done in the infographic. Well, I send it to my staff because this is the way we should send position papers to Parliament.
Good idea. Maybe
saving a lot of paper and really conveying the message, I think, much better. But I think today we make a great step from shared ambitions towards shared action, and to really put in the plan into steps towards reality. And I'm very grateful that this is really a shared ambition, an ambition also shared by me, and I will do anything I can do to help to make this reality. But thank you so much to everyone who made this position paper possible, because this is a great step, and I know how hard the work was. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, we come to an end. And yes, somebody already said there are drinks. So it's now time. I thank all of you, not only for your contribution in these sessions, but also our keynote speakers, our two hosts who started this morning. And yes, indeed. And I hope that the next year, which is already starting very soon, will really make a difference in the leadership of academia. Thank you so much.